Hello and welcome to Drama Recaps. Today we will delve into the 2016 biography drama history film named Hidden Figures. Spoilers ahead. Based on a true story. The story starts in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, in 1926. Young Katherine Coleman is gazing at geometric shapes in a stained glass window as her parents discuss her education with a school representative. They want Katherine to join a school for talented kids because she's super good at math. In her new school, a teacher challenges Katherine with a tough algebra question. She quickly solves it, then confidently explains to her older classmates. Jump to 1961 in Hampton, Virginia. An older Katherine, now named Katherine Goebel, is with her two friends, Dorothy Vaughan and Mary Jackson. Their car has broken down. A policeman asks them for IDs in a not-so-friendly manner. But when they mention they work for NASA, his attitude shifts. He talks about the importance of the US winning against Russia in the space race. He wonders if they've met astronauts. Although Mary says yes, the others' faces hint that they haven't. When Dorothy gets the car working, the policeman gives them a ride, a strange sight of a black trio speeding behind a police car. At NASA, everyone's tense because Russia has launched Sputnik 1, their first satellite. The leaders are worried. They urge Al Harrison to make sure the US goes to space before the expenses become unjustifiable. The three women work in the West Area Computing Division, apart from the main Langley Research Center. They, and other black women, do mathematical calculations manually. Dorothy hands out job tasks. Mary wishes to be an engineer but is assigned a helper role to the male engineers. Then, Vivian Mitchell, Dorothy's superior, visits. She says the main team needs someone skilled in analytic geometry. Dorothy picks Katherine. Vivian takes Katherine to a different department, reminding her to dress appropriately and behave, hinting at racial tensions. When Katherine enters the new workspace, the white colleagues mistake her for maintenance staff and aren't very welcoming. Elsewhere, Mary is in the engineering area. She watches a test on a space capsule, which fails. She suggests a possible fix to the head engineer. Zielinski thinks she's smart enough to be an engineer, but she responds about the challenges of being a black woman. When asked if she would wish to be an engineer if she were a white man, Mary retorts that she wouldn't need to wish because she'd already be one. At the same time, Katherine faces her challenges. Paul Stafford gives her a massive amount of work with instructions that it has to be perfect and done quickly. He's also hidden some vital details from her, citing her lack of security clearance. A pressing issue arises when Katherine needs to use the restroom. The closest one is only for white women, forcing Katherine to run half a mile to the designated bathroom for colored women. Despite this, she remains dedicated to her work. Dorothy is frustrated with the unfair treatment she receives. At home, Katherine has her hands full with her three daughters. As a widow, her mother helps her look after them. At a church event, Katherine catches the attention of a handsome colonel named Jim Johnson. They have a flirtatious interaction, but things take a downturn when he seems surprised about her role at NASA. Offended, Katherine walks away. Back at work, Katherine faces more challenges due to segregation. After she uses the communal coffee pot, a separate one labeled "colored" appears the next day. Despite these setbacks, her skills shine when she solves a challenging equation that no one else can tackle. Al Harrison notices her talent and ensures she receives uncensored reports from then on, joking that she's obviously not a spy. A significant moment arrives at NASA as employees, including Katherine, gather to meet the astronauts, among them the famed John Glenn. John Glenn is set to make history with the Friendship 7, aiming to be the first American to orbit the Earth. Though initially discouraged, he warmly acknowledges the black women employees, including Katherine, standing aside. During a social event, Colonel Johnson seeks Katherine out, invites her for a dance, and apologizes for his earlier remarks. Their bond deepens over time. One rainy day, after yet another long trek to the colored restroom, Al Harrison confronts her about her frequent absences. An emotional Katherine highlights the racial segregation she faces daily, from restrooms to coffee pots, and even the wage disparity that prevents her from owning pearls. Harrison, moved by her words, takes a stand. He removes the segregation label from the coffee pot and, in a bold move, demolishes the "colored women bathroom" sign, declaring that there's no segregation at NASA since everyone's urine is the same color. Tensions escalate between Catherine and Paul, especially over report credits. The dynamic nature of the Friendship mission means Catherine's calculations quickly become outdated. Seeking real-time updates, she asks to attend pivotal meetings. Initially faced with gender-based objections, she convinces Al Harrison of her need to be present. Al, dismissing traditional protocols, grants her request. Catherine joins a high-profile meeting that includes John Glenn and other NASA executives. The pressing issue is determining the landing site of Glenn's spacecraft, leaving the room in ponderous silence as Al considers the challenge. When given chalk, Al asked Catherine to try solving a problem. Although surprised, Catherine used her skills to write a solution on the board that showed where Glenn's spacecraft might land, near the Bahamas. Everyone, including Glenn, was amazed by her accuracy. Mary sought permission from a judge to attend a school that previously barred colored people. She got the nod to join night classes, becoming the pioneer colored woman there. Her presence was unexpected to white classmates, but she remained undeterred. When Vivian mentioned a shortage of programmers, Dorothy stepped up, revealing her Fortran skills and how she trained her team. Subsequently, all 30 women under Dorothy joined the computer department. They all moved together to their new roles. One evening, Catherine found her home transformed for a special occasion. Her mother kept mum about it. Jim Johnson surprised her with dinner and a small jewelry box. Before he could propose, she accepted, excited. He emphasized his commitment to the entire family. As the launch day of Glenn's mission neared, Catherine's contributions gained prominence. Paul, once her critic, became supportive. However, Al informed her that after the Friendship 7 launch, her role would conclude. When she was packing, Ruth handed her pearls, a gift from everyone. On launch day, Vivian met Dorothy and regretfully admitted her mistake for not promoting her earlier. Vivian assures Dorothy she holds no prejudice against the black women she oversees and has always tried her best for them. To this, Dorothy responds, somewhat sympathetically, "I think you truly think that." The entire globe is glued to their screens for John Glenn's takeoff. In the control room, a hiccup occurs. The IBM machine's data on Glenn's trajectory contradicts the prior day's figures. Unsure of which is right and fearing the launch might be jeopardized, Glenn asks specifically for Catherine. He has more faith in her calculations than the computers. They find Catherine, and she quickly checks the figures in her old workspace. Once done, she hurries to deliver her results. However, she's stopped at the door of the control room. But, after a pause, Al hands her an entry pass and ushers her in. The launch is viewed by 50 million globally. From the spacecraft, the Earth's horizon is beautifully visible as Glenn steers the Friendship 7. However, a snag appears. Glenn observes a warning regarding the heat shield's fasteners. Mary, following the event on TV, says the retro pack shouldn't be discarded during descent. It could keep the heat shield steady. Glenn feels the heat intensifying inside the capsule as he follows Mary's suggestion. Moments of nail-biting suspense follow as radio contact drops, but thanks to Mary's tip, Glenn survives and lands safely. Post-launch, Vivian finally gives Dorothy a well-deserved promotion. Mary attains her degree and steps into the engineering world.